Hi, everybody. For this project, we're doing a portrait of a historical figure of Black history. So at this point, everybody should have been given a Black history figure via the Wheel of Black History Figures. And for your specific Black history figure, the first thing you're going to need to do is Google that person. So for my example, I chose Martin Luther King Jr. because everybody knows him and already so Martin Luther King Jr. Once I've Googled him, it should come up. You should have some photos of the man or woman, and then also a little about section from Wikipedia. We're going to use this about section later, but first we need to find a photo of him. So I click on images, and I'm going to find a good photo. Now, if you cannot find a color photo, that is fine. But preferably a color photo. I could use this photo in mine. I used this photo here. So I'm going to go ahead and right click on it, go down to save image as, and save this to my computer. Once again, make sure it's a JPEG, and I will go ahead and save that. So that goes in there. Then I want to remove the background. So I'm going to go remove BG, go to remove.bg, and upload my image, and of course click on that and remove the background. We're removing the background for several different reasons. Mainly, we're not going to use the background, but we are going to use the area around the person. So once I've got that, I download it. I'm going to keep this tab open because there are some other things that I need. For example, I may need just a photo of him that is color uh, if I wanted to. So I could just copy this because I'm going to go over to my Google Drive now. And remember, to get your Google Drive, you click on the waffle on Google, you click on the Drive icon. So now I'm going to start a new Google Drawing. I'm going to go down to More, Google Drawings. Now for this one, we're going to keep the page set up the same. It's going to stay 4:3. As you see, we could go widescreen, but we're not going to do that on this one. We're just going to stay standard. So at this point, I'm going to name this the name of my person. So I'm going to say Martin Luther King Jr., and your person will be whoever your person is. Also, you want to try to, make sure you name it the name of your person because otherwise you may not be able to find it. So before I put my picture in there, it's got the background removed. I'm going to choose a background color, a solid or a gradient. I'm probably going to go ahead and choose a gradient for this one. So I right click, I go to background, gradient, and I'm just going to pick this light orange. Actually, I like the dark orange like that. So then I'm going to insert my picture, insert image, upload from computer. And here is my picture that does not have the background. Now, one thing I want to do here now is I want to resize it the size that I want it. If there's anything I need to crop out, like I might want to crop out this microphone here, I can go ahead and crop it out. But the microphone didn't totally get cropped out, so maybe I can use my masking tool and just mask it a little bit. Let's try this one right here. Nope, that doesn't really work. All right. One thing you can also do if there's something else in the picture that you don't want is I can go back to remove BG here, and I can erase. And I just click on the eraser. I can erase all this, and it'll work. It'll take that out. Then I just click done, and then I can download that one. So now let's go back to my Google Drawing here, and I can insert that. Insert image, upload from computer, and once again, there it is, but without the um, background. Now, if you have any edges, like the straight edge on the bottom, you don't want to have him floating in the air unless you had something that he was sitting on underneath. So I'm going to put him on the bottom here. I'm going to resize him, leaving some room for a couple other things that we're going to put in here. So make him or her pretty big, but leaving space for the top. So now what we're going to do is you can go to format options and recolor this. If it's black and white, you can recolor it to like a sepia tone, which is on the bottom right, which will give you a little bit of um, color understanding. You can up the brightness if you like. So I could go straight from here and start doing the drawing on top, because basically we're going to draw on top of this and then we're going to make it totally dark so that it's in the background. So right here, once you're at this point, this is the point where you get some values. And like we said, values are lightness and darkness of colors. So one thing you can do if you have a color picture, and I'll go ahead and paste that other color picture in here. Now, if you don't have a color picture, you can do this with, you can get a person of a similar skin tone and get some colors. But basically, what you're going to do is you're going to create probably about 3 to 4, just they can be circles, they can be squares, but just a shape like that. Take out the border color. Go ahead and copy and paste this. So I have 4, 3, 4. Okay, and I'm going to make the 4 skin tones. So I got, these are all blue right now, but I'm going to make them into various skin tones. Let's make these a little bit smaller. And I selected all of them by basically clicking and holding down shift and then moving them around. So now what I can do is I can click on the paint bucket, the fill color, and I can pick this little custom color. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in here, I'm going to find the lightest color on his head. How about there? So there's a really light. So those will be all the highlights. And it doesn't have to be exact, but you want to try to make it as you go. So I'm going to click on it again. I'm going to pick like a mid-tone, a little bit darker. So let's say right on the top of the forehead, right about there. That's a little bit darker. Okay, and then maybe I'm like, well, that's pretty dark. I need a little bit lighter than that. So, but basically, you want 4 different tones. Probably this tone that's right underneath his nose, right there. Yeah, that's a good mid-tone. So we'll switch these around. And then this will be the darkest of the tones. So I will then, once again, go to the paint dauber or whatever it's called, and I will find a really dark tone in there. And you can do the same thing for like the lips and stuff like that. But basically I have 4 tones right now. So then what I do is I take this one. When I click on it, it automatically sets my palette like that. So if I go to Polyline and I make a shape, it should be that. If it's not that, I can always click on this, make it that, make sure the border is transparent. Okay. But what you want to do now is you're going to use the zoom tool a lot. So when you zoom in, okay, and I could take these over, I'm going to grab this and put it next to here so I can see. And I'm going to do the lightest parts that color. So now I take my polyline tool and I make the lightest, the highlights, that color. And I can zoom in here even closer if I want to get really close to something, like his nose right here. I may want to get really close to that, so I click on my zoom tool. I zoom in really close. Okay, and like I said, you can click on this and then click the polyline, and it should let me do this. So it's basically you're tracing over top of the various colors of everything. And you can take a little liberty here. It doesn't have to be exact, but try to use your sense, and it's still doing that. But once I move on to another one, I should be able to go ahead and have that be that color. So let's go ahead and try that and see here. And if you need to get out, there's a couple of different, yeah. So if you need to get out, there's a couple of different ways you can get out. You can mess with this and just click and fit. You can also hold down Control and click plus to zoom in and minus to zoom out. And you can hold down Control and press the 0 key, and that will fit it in the window. So once you get finished covering it, it should look something like this. So you can see this part right here is actually the photo. So if I just went Format Options and adjusted the brightness or just click Reset, it would be that photo. Okay. So once you get it all drawn, but you want to leave the black parts see through because, like I said, you are going to decrease the brightness, and this is going to be right behind, right like that. Once you have that, you're going to put some type of mosaic drawing of colors in the background. You can see I just did these red ones. Just keep a little bit of space between it and the other things. You can break it up however you want. Try to leave a border around the outside, but fill the background. You should have a little bit of the black background bleeding through in between. It kind of creates a mosaic type feel. Over here, you're going to put a text box with the information that you find. You can put that on either side of your person, but the text box that you find, let me show you. Basically, you're going to copy and paste the information from the About section. So not the part that says Wikipedia, but just this part here. Just you'll copy and paste it. You will have the name of your person on the top, and then what he is famous for, he or she. So Martin Luther King Jr. up top, taking up the space. This will be with word art. And then underneath that, what they're famous for. So he was a civil rights leader. If your person is an artist and is a painter, you might put artist/painter. And then on this side, either a quote from them. You can put it in one of these text boxes if you like. These are shapes. So if you go to shape and call outs, it's a call out down here. And it can be the start of a quote, like his famous quote is "I have a dream," his "I have a dream" speech. Or if the person is an inventor or an author, you could put a photo in a box like this over here or in a different shape that has a photo of their invention, their artwork, what they are famous for. So if you have any questions beyond that, let me know. I'll be here in class. But remember, the first step is to find a photo of your person, to Google them, um, read a little bit about them right here, and then also remove the background. So if you have any questions beyond that, let me know. And it is due on February 2nd, Friday, February 2nd. So make sure you are using your class time wisely. And that's it. All right. Happy creating.